Support for Radio Friends comes from OsteoStrong. Improvements in bone density, strength, and power can be achieved by weekly 5-minute no-sweat sessions on their 4-spectrum machines. These isometric robotic machines safely emulate high-impact loading on different parts of the skeletal system, which stimulates activity in bone-building cells. Balance and agility can be improved by 2-minute sessions on vibration plates. Every session is supervised by a trained coach. Learn more on Facebook or call to set up a complimentary wellness assessment and session. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Thursday, February the 16th. Always a pleasure to have you with us. We're going to talk about friendly flooring today in our house. Scott Bradley is with us, Carpet One Flooring Home. Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
He brought out some laminate flooring, and I said, okay, so how does this fit into the eco-friendly service that we talk about all the time?
So TuffCore Laminate is a great fit for young families when they're expecting an active household with pets, children, and they may not have the money right now to invest in a natural product like a hardwood floor or another surface. This TuffCore Laminate is a great solution. It's Forest Stewardship Council certified. That means
it's what now?
Forest Stewardship Council certified.
What does that mean?
That means that their practices for the milling and the composition of the core, it meets their standards.
Okay. And it's the core
forestry.
Actually is recycled hardwood.
High density fiberboard. They've also put the repellent, the waxed repellent that makes it that 30-hour moisture resistance into the core.
Okay.
So it's extremely resistant to moisture, which wasn't always the reputation for laminate flooring.
Okay, so what you were telling me is if the dog or the cat has an accident on it, and it can sit there for 30 hours, and it's not going to stain it.
So they have a 30-hour moisture shield technology on this, and they say that the water will evaporate before it damages
the floor. If you're concerned about the kitty cat, your doggies having a little accident, 30 hours, now hopefully you'll clean it up before 30 hours passes.
And keep in mind, warranties are always under normal conditions.
Right, right. And if you spill soda or a glass of wine, it's not going to stain it.
Yeah, laminate is the most stain-resistant flooring out there, coming right out of the box.
Yeah. And, the thing that is important to me when we talk about this stuff is we always like to use as much renewable products as possible. And this is made from recycled products.
Yes. It's basically sawdust that they collect, and that's the main composition of the core.
Yeah, which is important. Which is important for the environment.
And another thing is it lasts a really long time.
When you say a long time,
and when it lasts a long time, that's the same thing as being environmentally friendly.
Right, because you're not going to have to replace it.
That's right.
What's this called again?
This is called TuffCore Premium Laminate.
Okay. So if you want more information on that, you can give my friend there, Scott Bradley, a call over at Carpet One Floor and Home and tell him you want to find out about that. What?
TuffCore Premium
Environmentally friendly flooring. That's what we talk about here. Environmentally friendly.
Indoor environment and outdoor environment.
Got it.
Yes.
Oh, you can use this outdoor too?
No. But it's good for the outdoor environment.
Good for the outdoor. You got it, Scott.
Saves
Thank
trees.
you.
That's right.
Thank you so much for coming by. It's a pleasure to have you.
I love it. Thank you.
All right, now I want to introduce you to Jerry Kiesling. Jerry is a counselor here in Columbia, and we're going to talk about counseling for grief and loss, which we all go through at one time in our life. Welcome to Radio Friend, Jerry.
Thank you, Paul.
You deal with counseling for seniors, people who have lost loved ones or friends going through a hard time, right?
And caregivers and...
and you counsel for caregivers too.
Exactly.
Because sometimes caregivers can feel like they've got their back up against the wall.
That's right. And that's something that a lot of people get burned out doing.
Yes, but you do it in love, but it's important that you realize while you are a caregiver, you must also look out for yourself too and take some breaks there.
And that's really difficult to do because when you're in the caregiver role, it's easy to feel like if I do something for myself, I'm
Being selfish.
right. And I have a lot of guilt about it.
And you shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
You need to know when to ask somebody to come in and relieve you for a short period of time so you can recharge your batteries. That's so very important. But let's talk about grief counseling. What can happen to somebody who is going through a really big loss in their life and grieving and not knowing how to deal with it properly?
It can be a great feeling of being alone, being by yourself, being isolated. And a lot of times after someone has died, after a few weeks or months, it's like you feel maybe like others don't want to hear how you're feeling inside. And so it's easy to hold that inside. And the great thing about counseling is it can be your place to process what's happened, the good and the bad, the anger, and keep your loved one alive. So we do a lot of those things in counseling.
What can happen to somebody who is really going through, having a hard time dealing with the loss, and they don't reach out to talk to somebody about it? Whether it be a counselor or a friend, just somebody that will listen.
Yeah, and sometimes people don't sleep well. Sometimes people don't eat well. And that can really take a physical toll on a person after a while. And so it doesn't change that someone has died that you love. And it changes that you grow around that loss. And that helps you approach every day in a better way.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to realize that just because that person has died does not mean that they're gone out of your life. They will always be a part of your life. You can open your heart up and feel them in your life and in your heart. And they're with you. And it's important to talk about that, to have somebody that understands how you feel and what you're looking for.
Definitely, because I think the one misperception that people have is that if they let go of how sad they are, then the person will go away as well.
No.
And it doesn't happen that way.
No, it sure doesn't. It doesn't. Just think of this. The person that you love so much, they don't want you to feel sad. They don't want you to feel bad and crying all the time. You can let go of that sorrow, but still feel the love.
Definitely. And, initially it is going to hurt very badly because that's someone that you shared love with and closeness. And that's really important to process that and come to a point where, you can see what you need to do.
Okay. If you feel you'd like to talk to someone about this, Jerry, they can contact you how?
So they can go to my website at www.counselingmidmo.com.
Okay.
Or call me.
All right. Thank you so much, Jerry Kiesling, for coming by.
Thank you, Paul.